After powering on this Lenovo T440P, it is apparent that the LCD panel has been physically damaged and must be replaced. This process is rather straightforward and begins by powering off the device, closing the lid, and turning the unit over. The battery is removed by sliding the two locking mechanisms outward until they click. The battery is removed by sliding it back. Turn the laptop back over and open the screen until it is level with the chassis. We will start on the right-hand side to separate and remove the laptop display bezel. Run a plastic spudger tool along the side of the display until an area is found that gives and allows for a purchase point. Run the tool along the bezel from bottom to top, separating the entire side. Slowly and carefully use your hands to pry the remaining clips. Remove the display bezel to expose the LCD panel we intend to replace. There are 4 Phillips screws that secure the LCD panel to the display frame, which will need removed. Before we move the display, let's place a cloth on the keyboard, which is primarily intended to protect our new display from scratching during the install. Here is a close-up of the metal tab of the LCD panel and the display frame. With the frame screws removed, we will need to lift on the metal tabs of the LCD panel, making sure to not also pull on the display frame. Lift the damaged panel up and swing it down to the keyboard, minding the one cable at the base that drives the display. The display cable must now be disconnected and is secured by a metal bar, which must be carefully lifted. Use a spudger tool to lift the bar gently and then use your hands to evenly remove the cable from its connector. With the cable removed from the display, there are no other components attached to the dysfunctional LCD. Please dispose of the old panel properly and fetch the new replacement panel. Place the new panel face down on the towel with the display connector positioned near the chassis hinge. Evenly install the display cable into the new display, being careful not to push on the cable, but rather the connector's metal base. After the connector is firmly seated, swing the cable's locking bar downward until it clicks into place. Swing the LCD panel back into the display frame and ensure that it is properly positioned with the screw holes. Seat the display cables in the bezel as shown. Reinstall the 4 Phillips screws of the LCD panel into the display frame. Position the display bezel so that it meets up on both sides evenly. Firmly pinch the 2 bezels together to allow them to mate up. Ensure that there are no gaps present between the 2 sides. Close the display, turn it over, reinstall the battery, return it right side up, and power on the unit. With a little luck, the display will fire right up with no issues and we can get back to what matters most: Windows updates. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to receive notification of future content.